from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football...
Good morning and welcome again to the GDFL Footy Show, coming to you from Buckley's Entertainment Centre on a very cold and windy Saturday morning. Yep, it's been a great week of football the last couple of weeks, and they've been split rounds, and at last we have a full round of matches on this afternoon as we go towards the business end of the season. Last week, well, out at the resort, at the home of the Belmont Lions, Cogsy held court there with the Legends Day. Magnificent speech too at half-time by the floor manager. Sensational, with the Winchelsea Blues overcoming a Belmont Lions side that was very determined up till about half-time but fell apart in the last half. Joel Higgins for the Winchelsea Blues kicking 5 goals, and Tim van der Klooster made a return back to the Winchelsea Blues and kicking 3 goals, and a valuable contribution indeed. The Bannockburn Tigers out at Victoria Park, too good for Werribee Centrals. I just had to mention that. And with Matt Taylor from Werribee Centrals in a losing side kicking 5 goals, but the Tigers much too good for the boys from the Quackerdome. And the 94.7 match of the day was the East Geelong Eagles out at Richmond Crescent. Too good in the end for a very determined Geelong West Cheetahs, with Josh Bowman's kicking 4 goals. Hello, I'm Dick Philpott, and once again I have assembled some of the biggest names and brains in country football to eradicate, adjudicate, communicate, but definitely not procrastinate. And the man on my left, he's once again made the big journey down from the Quackerdome, and we've got a big day on this afternoon, don't you worry about that. Good morning, Grubby.
Good morning, Dick. It's lovely to be here on a Saturday morning. I see old Hottie Gillett over there from Manic. He's on his 5th pot, and it's only 8:15 in the morning. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you've had 10. And going to be a big day at Keith Barclay over this afternoon, mate. You're going to be absolutely walloped.
Well, we'll be there pretty early. We'll be getting there about 9 o'clock in the morning for the Colts, then the seconds and the seniors. So, yeah, by the end of the day, I think I'll be walloped, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Grubby and I have a bit more to say about that later on in the show. We have the number one commentator in country football, Eric Nicholls. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Dick. Nice to be back again. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to refereeing between you two this afternoon.
Yeah, it should be a great occasion out of the Keith Barclay Oval. Is Jason okay now about being relegated back to number 2 commentator?
Well, I haven't discussed the matter with him.
Haven't brought it up. Unbelievable.
Don't worry about refereeing us this afternoon. You might have to referee us this morning.
Well, whatever will be.
You never know what might happen later on the show. Well, out at the Richmond Crescent ground, it was the 94.7 match of the day between the East Geelong Eagles and the Geelong West Cheetahs, and the Grubby Cations caught up with the great legend himself, Ricky O'Toole.
Pretty good win in the finish, but they really took it up to you early. Yeah, they did. They really threw everything at us, Grubby, but obviously they've been playing really good footy this year. They ran Balpo still to a couple of goals the other week, so we knew it was going to be tough, and it was just pleasing the way the boys responded.
Mate, that third quarter was pretty close, and all of a sudden it was Bolton to O'Toole to Chalice about 6 times in a row. Did you think that? I thought you had a tag early, but they took him off you. It was Holmes, wasn't it?
Yeah, obviously it helps when your ruckman gets a hand on the footy. I mean, you know, when he's winning the hit outs, it makes a massive difference to our setup and the way we play. And you know, full credit goes to him. He's a tireless worker, and he got his hands on the ball first and really helped us.
Now, obviously, you've heard along the grapevine that Bannockburn's knocked off Werribee Centrals, and you've gone to equal third. Obviously, you know, from early in the year, you wanted to make the 5. Now you'd have to be looking at top 3.
Oh, definitely. I was really, to be honest, I was probably surprised with that result. But everyone seems to be beating everyone at the moment, so it's quite wide open, especially for 3rd, 4th and 5th, I believe. So we just got to keep building momentum, just keep playing well and just keep getting the 4 points.
And you run home. It's not too bad. You've probably got a pretty good run home.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though. You know, you've got Anarchy and Anarchy. We bet them quite easy round 1, but they're really playing some great footy as well, and they're always tough out there. And then we've got Winchelsea back here, and I think we've got Winchelsea. Then we've got Bannockburn out there. I think so. The next 3 or 4, we can either set up our season or derail our season.
I noticed towards the end you put a bloke down back. I think Big Bowman went down back. Why'd you do that?
I just sort of stemmed the flow. They kicked 3 or 4 quick goals. We went in 40 points up at 3/4 time. Just wanted to stem the flow for a couple of minutes. We got a goal, and as soon as we got a goal, we switched it back. So it was more just sort of slow the game down a little bit.
Okay, and we weren't happy in the box at one stage there. Some bloke give a 50-metre away and you didn't drag him.
Oh, I know, Jesus. Probably because it probably shouldn't have been 50, but...
You tried to pretend you dropped it, mate.
Yeah, well, it's the first one of your way in a while, so I'll be out there running laps for it on Tuesday night.
Mate, thanks for joining us, and look, all the best for the rest of the year. 3rd spot's really up for grabs, and all the best for it.
Thanks, Grubby.
Great interview there with Grubby Cations and the great Ricky O'Toole, Whitley medalist, and of course Ricky back in action again for the East Geelong Eagles. They make their rampage towards Final 5 for this year's Premiership Cup, sitting third at the moment, which is a good opportunity now to take a look at the ladder. And let's have a look at it now. Here it comes now with magnificent graphics by Noel Fanning. I've got no idea what it means.
Who's sitting third?
Hey, well, I thought East Geelong might have gone up to third, but they haven't. Absolutely, completely out of touch with that. No, never mind. Belpo still sitting on top, undefeated, 11 wins, going along very nicely as Poppers Panthers, followed by the North Geelong Magpies. Only lost one game, and it was up against the Belpo Still Footy Club up at the Ring Road Recreation Reserve. And Werribee Central's up there and having a crack now. Grubby going along all right. And of course East Geelong and Anarchy making up the final five as it sits at the moment. Just outside the final five, making it a little bit harder for themselves now with the Geelong West Cheetahs, followed by the Winchelsea Blues, Bannockburn, Corio, Thompson, the Belmont Lions, and Inverleigh yet to open their account. And I don't know whether they're going to ever open their account. Are they, Grubby?
Well, they're a chance. They're not playing too bad at footy. They're a chance. So they've got a few games left to get it, so I wouldn't write them off just yet.
And the big game last week out at the Richmond Crescent, and KO now down back in his proper position up in the comment or the timekeeper's box. Everything went well out there.
Yeah, he was. He was very chipper. I had a bit of a chat with him early. He's very, very chipper. It was a pretty good game actually. They only lost the game. 15 minutes of football beat them. They kicked about 7 goals in 10 minutes, I reckon, East Geelong. And after that, the game was pretty even all day. But it probably just tells me, I think Nick Washington thinks they probably didn't put 4 quarters together. But what it tells me is they're probably not good enough to beat the good sides just yet, Eric.
Eric, they tell me that Ricky O'Toole gave him a nice old spray at 3/4 time.
Well, I'd gone by 3/4 time, but I'm told the first 10 minutes of the third quarter was vintage Ricky O'Toole.
Yep.
The clearances from the centre fantastic, and Grubby probably as good as you would ever see Ricky O'Toole in his prime.
Well, it was. It was Bolton to O'Toole to Chalice 5 times in a row. And the handball from Ricky O'Toole to Chalice was just sublime. And that won them the game.
Yeah.
That won them the game. As I said before, they were very, very even for the rest of the game.
And you caught up, of course, with Mrs. O'Leary's magnificent breast of chicken sandwiches at half time.
Yeah, amongst a few other things, yeah.
Well, what are the other things? What happened?
Oh, there was some scones and hedgehogs and pies, and they were pretty good.
Oh, and the cream sponge.
And the cream sponge, the passion fruit icing, yeah, lovely, lovely.
Scruncher was there.
Scruncher was there, yeah, he
Yep.
was there. Ronnie Lovell was there.
Ronnie Lovell?
Yeah, haven't seen Ronnie at the footy much. I see them other two sponges. Bloody.
We used to see Ronnie Lovell every Monday night at the Tribunal.
Yeah, well,
That's about it, don't
I
mind it,
see
boy.
Hesse and Robinson sponging food at half time. They're there every week, but I haven't seen Ronnie for a while. But he's looking pretty good, Ronnie.
Oh, it's good to see him, and he's done a great contribution to the footy over the years. Don't you worry about that. We're going to take a short break, pay some bills, and come back with our very special guest and a little bit of junior footy as well. Back after this.
We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football